JAGUAR Guru channel. Today I've got a Jaguar XJ for us to have a look at, and I'm also going to be asking the question why so many people look beyond these when they're looking for a big luxury saloon car or family car. Most people go for the German ones. So we'll have a look around the outside, we'll have a look inside, and then we'll take it for a drive and see if we can work out why so many people just ignore the Jaguar and go for one of the German brands. Let's get into it. Right, so let's start off at the front then. So on the XJ in 2015 it was facelifted. So the previous headlights that had an all-round LED daytime running light strip here, that was replaced with the twin J blades, and you also got LED headlights, which was an improvement over the previous bi-xenon headlights. This particular car is a portfolio, so you do get the chrome grille insert, chrome grille surround and bumper inserts. You also get headlight washers, front parking sensors, and there was an option to have the radar cruise control and the front mounted camera on there as well, which this car doesn't have. As part of the portfolio package you also got 20-inch Arona alloy wheels, which are a diamond cut finish. Parking sensors were all round as standard. You also got keyless entry and exit system, which is what the button on the door handle is here. This particular car is not fitted with the privacy glass. And look, a really nice car on the side, got a sort of coupe shape. The only one thing that annoyed me when you ordered something like this grey colour is you always got this black bit here. But that's not something to get too upset about. If you order a black car, then it all ties in. So that's the side of the car in the front. Let's have a look around the back. So around the back of the car, all XJs come as standard with the exhaust either side, so the twin pipe exhausts. The only cars that are slightly different are the XJRs, because they have quad exhaust, so two either side, whereas this has got the oval either side. And also if you look at a Autobiography or an XJ50, they also have larger oval tips as well. So you've got the reversing camera on here as standard. You also get a powered tailgate, which you can operate from the key. Plenty of room on the interior of the boot there. And then the only thing that really annoys me is, unfortunately, you can't close it from the key. You have to press the button. But still plenty of room in there. Okay, so that's the driver's side profile. Again, looks really nice sat here in the Chorus grey. This particular one is a 3-litre V6 supercharged petrol engine, which is one of the rare ones, so I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a second. But for now, let's move on to the interior. So let's start with the rear of the XJ. So what we can see here on the portfolio, in the centre, we've got heated and cooled rear seats, split climate control for rear passengers, plenty of power sockets there, and also a fan speed right in the middle. This is the ebony Windsor leather, which is quilted on the facelift models, so that's from 2015 onwards. And that's only on the portfolio and on the Autobiography models, so if you ordered a premium luxury or an R Sport, you'd get the standard flat leather. Plenty of storage behind the seats there as well. This one's got the gloss wood trim on the door panels. Plenty of cubby holes there. Being a Jaguar, you do get a ashtray, which is just on there, which hasn't been used on this car, thankfully. And this car, as standard on the portfolio, also has the twin glass sunroofs, the front one of course being the one that moves. So that's the rear. Let's have a look at the front. First thing that we'll see on the door cards is that we've got memory for driver and front passenger, and that'll memorise the seat position, the mirrors and the steering column. You get all-round electric windows as standard, and power adjustable and folding door mirrors as standard. The seat adjustment, so that's a 18-way seat adjustment, and these are also heated and cooled as I mentioned a second ago. Get the Jaguar Leaper embossed into the headrest there, and then you've got your steering wheel there, which is heated as standard on the Portfolio, and you've also got your digital driver's dash, twin cup holders in the centre, seat configurations all through the screen, so your heating and cooling, and you've also got your navigation, digital DAB and Bluetooth all through that same screen as well. So let's jump in and have a look. Okay, so sat in one of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in at the moment. It's the driver's seat of a Jaguar XJ. First of all, you can see I've got the digital dash on, and I've configured it to show the map there as well. If you don't have the map on, it will just revert back to normal dials. We've got this sort of sweeping dash around us, which I think is really nice. I really like that. You've got the wood trim there, and you've also got the Jaguar wording just up there. If you go for an autobiography, that actually says autobiography on there, so you know you're in something a little bit special. Down in the centre console, plenty of glossy black trims and chrome trims just on there, the little coin tray there. You've got twin cup holders here, gear selector, which you've probably all seen before, drive mode still down here. The seats, this is a good one. Let's have a look in here. So let's take our passenger seat, and we can switch on the massaging system there. Move to the driver, switch on the massage, and what happens there is airbags in the seat start to inflate and deflate, and there's several of them, so you can choose what sort of massage you want. So you've got wave, up and down, shoulder, lumbar. Wave is the best one. Of course, you've got, just go back into there, you've got all your heating and cooling on there as well. So you can cool the seats down, warm them back up again. I'll just turn the temperature off for now. If you can hear the noise, I'm going to leave the massage on, hope you don't mind. A heated steering wheel button is just down here. Voice command, Bluetooth, cruise control, menu buttons here, that's for that menu. Wipers on that side, it's auto wipers, auto lights. And we've also got our reverse camera standard. As I say, there was an option for a 360-degree camera as well, and you can switch the whole system off. You do get a CD player in it as well, not that anyone listens to CDs anymore. Heated windscreen was standard on Portfolio, and you've also just seen the navigation there as well. This is the later widescreen in-control system, so that's the latest up-to-the-minute software, and it's just such a nice place to come and sit and drive. You could do a long journey in this, no problem at all. So speaking of which, let's take it for a drive. Right, let's take the Jaguar XJ 3-litre V6 petrol supercharged Portfolio for a drive. You see me okay there? Yep. So it's a 3-litre V6 supercharged petrol engine, which is the same one that you got in the entry-level F-Type at the time. So 340 horsepower petrol engine. So I'm just trying to get out of this car park. And it's good for a top speed of 155 miles an hour. Miles per gallon average is going to be around 25, 26. On a run you can get up to 39, which is probably where this car is going to spend most of its time, to be fair, on the motorways. It's nice and smooth. It's connected to an 8-speed automatic ZF gearbox. It's electronic power steering. It's just a lovely luxury car. Now, I spoke earlier about why people ignore this when they're looking for a luxury car and go straight to the default choices of Mercedes S-Class, Audi A8 and BMW 7 Series, and just ignore the Jaguar. I think that's because Jaguar's got a little bit of a niche market with this car. It's, you know, it looks different, whereas those German cars I just mentioned, they all look similar. If you squint, they all look the same, whereas the Jag's just got a little bit more of a bit more style about it, I'd say. So it's a little bit different, it's a little bit out there, and people are probably a little bit cautious to move away from, you know, the normal German styling. But I think these represent exceptional value for money. If you buy one as a used car, certainly. And you can pick these up now in portfolio spec for something like this one I'm in here, which is a facelift version. I've seen them hovering around the sort of £22,000 mark for one that's got a few miles on it. This particular one is as I say, it's portfolio spec. It's done 13,000 miles, this one, so this is probably going to be in the mid-30s, I would imagine, price-wise, when we eventually put it up for sale. But it's just worn so well. The steering wheel feels really nice in your hand. I'm still having a massage from the seat. I could cool the seat down if I wanted to. And as I say, being the petrol, this is just so quiet in here. I've also got this lovely sort of suede cloth headlining as well, and it just makes you feel special, this car. And it's a little bit of history. So this is called the X351 model. It was introduced in 2009 to replace the old X358, which is, in my opinion, the last traditional shaped Jaguar XJ with the twin headlights at the front and the long boot and everything. And when it came out, you could order a luxury, a premium luxury, a portfolio, or a super sport, or what we'd now call an XJR. It was called Super Sport for some reason back then. And you could order those cars, and you could have either a 3-litre V6 275 horsepower engine. You could have this engine, which is 340 horsepower petrol supercharged. You could opt for a 5-litre supercharged engine, and that's probably one to avoid if you want in fuel economy. But if you're happy just to have a huge engine and enjoy the power, then that's the one to go for. That's found in the Super Sport. When it was facelifted in 2015, they introduced a model called the R Sport, which just got basically seats from the XF portfolio at the time, and it also got a slight bodywork tweak. Some new wheels were introduced, and it was marketed as a sort of sport version, or what M Sport would be to BMW, or AMG to Mercedes-Benz, S-Line to Audi, etc, etc. That's bright. And when the car was facelifted, the engine was improved, and we went from the 3-litre V6 275 horsepower to the same engine but with 300 horsepower, and it became a twin turbo engine. That's how it produced more power. This engine was still available, and the 550 horsepower engine was introduced as the 5-litre V8 supercharged as well. They introduced a couple of new models. They brought back the XJR name, and they also, as I say, the R Sport, and they also brought in the autobiography spec as well, which is the super luxurious long wheelbase version of this. It's basically a portfolio but with loads more options. You got rear entertainment as standard. You got some very special alloy wheels, or you could opt for some special alloy wheels on that car. You know, if you're in the market for a luxury saloon and you've got between £20,000 and £30,000 to spend, why wouldn't you consider an XJ? I certainly would if I was in the market for one. And driving this, it's just so nice. In fact, I think on the used car market for a S-Class, this is a 67 plate, so a 67 plate S-Class is probably going to cost you about 10 grand more than this. So 40, 45 grand, I reckon, something like that. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So in terms of if I was looking for one of these, what would I like? Well, I would rather have, me personally, I would go for an R Sport in Santorini black, because on the R Sport, that was the only one you could opt for the exterior gloss black pack on. So you got black grille surround, black side vents, and you could have black wheels on it. It was the only one you could have black wheels on. So I'd go for a Santorini black, but I'd probably want the ivory interior just as a nice contrast. If you've ever been in an R Sport, the seats are so comfortable and supportive. The leather's super soft. It's just such a nice place to be, and the ivory interior just makes the XJ. Not to say I won't be disappointed with the black interior, because I still feel very privileged if you drive an XJ. And It's just so nice driving it around these roads now. It doesn't feel like a huge car as well. I'm just about to go through a little sort of town area. Just doesn't feel like a massive car. Feels XE sized, like a compact saloon. Now, having said that, when you do take it into town, parking it is going to be a bit of an issue because it does stick out from parking bays. I'll tell you now, it definitely does stick out from parking bays. A multi-storey, you're going to be probably about a foot over the size of the parking bay, I would say. More if you go for a long wheelbase version. What else can we say about it? So options wise, there wasn't really a lot that was left on the options list once you went for something like a portfolio. So you could change your wheels if you wanted to. So you got 20-inch wheels as standard. You could change the interior trims. So at the moment I've got the gloss black, I've got the gloss wood interior, and you could change that to gloss black, grand black veneer. You could change the seats. You can have either ivory, you could have the ebony that I've got at the moment, or you could have the sienna tan. It's quite a rare option. I've not really seen one of those for quite a while. If you went for the R Sport, you could have the ebony and the ivory, or you could have the ebony and pimento, or you could have ebony and ivory, so like two-tone interiors. As you know, I don't like two-tone interiors. If you watch any of my previous videos, so I wouldn't go for any of those. Yeah, R Sports I've seen for circa £20,000 with 50 to 60,000 miles on. And if you're in the market for one, first thing you should do is look at what your local Jaguar dealer's got, or the Jaguar used car network if you're prepared to travel. Not that you can during these lockdown times. And I would say the only thing you need to watch out for is cars that have been abused. You know, you can tell an abused car because it'll have alloy wheels that have been quickly refurbished. The seats the leather will be quite shiny on the seats. You'll get quite shiny steering wheels. Try and avoid that. Then if you find a good one, you want in full Jaguar main dealer service history. As part of the used car package, you have to have or we as Jaguar dealers have to have the car serviced if it's due within 3 months or 3,000 miles. So definitely check with your dealer that he's going to do that. MOT, you'll get a minimum of 11 months. So you'd like to think that any sort of gremlins or any faults have been sorted out. And what faults do come up on XJs? Well, the electronics in this car, there's so much electronics, it's unreal. So it can throw up some electronic gremlins from time to time. They especially don't like being left for long periods of time without a battery charger on them, or being run or something like that. So avoid leaving it for long periods of time if you're not using it. Just start it up every so often. The other thing you might want to watch out for is air suspension at the back. I think Jaguar absolutely got it right when they put the air suspension on these. I've never really seen one throwing up faults with air suspension, but you never know. Just get it checked out, make sure it's all running absolutely right. Yeah, if you're definitely in the market for one, give it some consideration. Go and have a look and see what you can find out there. As I say, I've told you what my preference would be in terms of XJ colours and spec. So there we go. Hopefully you've enjoyed this short review of a Jaguar XJ 3-litre V6 petrol supercharged portfolio. And if you've not watched the previous video, the one just before this, I'm holding a Q&A session, so I'm going to be releasing a answers video on Sunday the 21st of February. And I need you to, on that video, if you can, just pop on there and leave me a comment with what question you'd like to ask me. So, is there something you've been wanting to ask a car dealer? Is there something you want to know about me? Is there something you want to know about a spec of a car? Do you want my opinion on something? Whatever it is, leave me a comment on that video and tune in on the 21st of Feb to see my answers. If you've not subscribed already, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when my next video goes live. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.